In DBT, or dialectical behavioral therapy, there is a common practice known as self-validation. When you utilize self-validation, you're really letting yourself know that it is okay to experience any emotion. Oftentimes, people aren't taught how to regulate their emotions or validate themselves, or they weren't raised in an environment that taught them how to do this. When we're raised to shut down our emotions or pretend like things don't matter, or we're dismissed for expressing how we feel, we tend not to know how to validate ourselves or even believe that it's okay to feel. Using a tool like self-validation, you will be able to not just give yourself permission to experience a broad range of emotions, but you'll better understand your emotions and your reactions to them, which can improve the way that you interact, not just with yourself, but in the world and with others. So it's a 3-step process. Number 1, we got to recognize the emotion that you're experiencing. Try to name it or label it or define it. The next step is to accept the emotion that you are experiencing. We're not trying to shun it away or dismiss it or say that it's not valid. Instead, we really try to use this as an opportunity to say it's okay to feel this way. I recognize this is an emotion I'm experiencing. I'm having this emotional reaction. It doesn't mean it's the best emotional reaction. That's important. Sometimes people like to use that as a tool in this step of the process because they recognize they may not be having the healthiest reaction, but it's important to still validate that there is a reaction happening. The last step in this process is to really take the time to be compassionate with yourself. Really take the time to recognize where the emotion came from and why you might have reacted or responded the way that you did. It's also important in this next step to come up with a fair expectation or solution that is considerate of what you're experiencing and what you'd like to be experiencing. So what might self-validation sound like? It could sound like, I am disappointed right now. I recognize that I'm disappointed because I was hoping that my friends would invite me out. I acknowledge that my reaction of disappointment is appropriate because they did tell me they were going to invite me out this week. When people go back on their word, it really upsets me. I deserve to feel good for the night and not let this get in my way. So I'm committed to putting on a great movie, dancing to some music, and making myself a really nourishing meal to support me in getting a great night's rest so I can wake up tomorrow and catch the sunrise. What we just did there is we recognized what the emotion was that was being experienced. We validated by saying this is where it's coming from and that's why it's okay. And then we moved through to a compassionate solution, which is hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I'll definitely be making more like it, but if you have any recommendations, suggestions, or questions, just go ahead and comment. As a person passionate about psychology and counseling, I would love to be able to contribute more to this space, especially because my internship in clinical mental health counseling is coming to an end. And this is going to be such a satisfying way for me to continue exercising that passion in the meantime of figuring out what's next.